So let's do the two triangles case. So here we're going to solve triangle ABC if big A is equal to 61.4 degrees, little a is 35.5 centimeters, and little b is equal to 39.2 centimeters. Okay, so let's start off by drawing the triangle. Okay, so here's my triangle. So here's A is 61.4 degrees. Here is B, so little b is going to be over here, which is 39.2 centimeters. C is going to be right here, and then little c, and then you have little a across from big A, and that's going to be 35.5 centimeters. Okay, so now what we want to do is let's go ahead and use the law of sines because we have the SSA case. So we're going to take the sine of A over little a is equal to the sine of B over little b. So this is going to give me sine of A is 61.4 degrees divided by little a, which is going to be 35.5, is equal to the sine of B, which I don't know what that is, divided by 39.2. So now let me cross multiply. So I'm going to have 39.2 sine of 61.4 is equal to 35.5 sine of B. So now let's divide by this 35.5. So then sine of B is going to be approximately equal to, so let's put that in our calculator. So we're going to have 39.2 sine of 61.4 divided by 35.5. That's going to give me 0.969. Okay, so not quite 1. You can't round. Okay, so now let's take sine inverse to both sides. And what I'm going to end up getting is 75.8. And I'm going to label this B1 because the second triangle may exist. Alright, so remember, how do we solve for the second triangle? Well, what we're going to do is, if a second triangle exists, so does a second exist? So if a second one exists, that means I can calculate B2 by taking 180 and subtracting B1. So I'm going to take 180 minus the 75.8. So let's see what this does. 180 minus 75.8, that's going to give me 104.2 degrees. Okay, so if B2 really exists, this is what B2 is going to be. All right, so let's see, how do we check? Okay, so we got to check by taking the original, which in this case is going to be the 61.4, and adding it to this guy, which is this 104.2. So let's see if this is less than 180. So 61.4 plus 104.2 is 165.6, which is less than 180. So what does that mean? A second triangle exists. Okay, so that means that B2 equals 104.2 degrees. Okay, so what I like to do is I like to kind of separate these guys. So I'm going to do first triangle, and I'm going to do second triangle. Okay, so right now what we know what A is. A is equal to 61.4 degrees. We also know what little a is. That's 35.5 centimeters. So that was given to us. So for both triangles, that's going to be correct. We also know what B is. So we have B1. So our B1 was equal to 75.8 degrees. I don't know what little b1. Just kidding. There is B. So it's not B1. It's just 39.2. This guy's just going to be 39.2 centimeters. And then I know what B2 is. B2, we just figured it out, which is going to be 104.2 degrees. B is equal to 39.2 centimeters. Okay, so that one's good. All right, and now the only one that's kind of left over is the C. So C1, I don't know what that is, and I don't know what little c1 is. C2, I don't know what that is, and I also don't know what little c2 is. So we're basically almost done, but we just have to do these two other ones. So let's first start off with the first triangle. So to find little c1, I mean big C1, it's going to be relatively easy. We're just going to take 180, which is a total measurement of all the triangle, and then take the sum of 75.8 plus 61.4. I'm going to take 180 minus 75.8 plus 61.4. And that's going to give me 42.8 degrees. So this guy's going to be 42.8 degrees. So now all we need to figure out is what C1 is. So I can use whichever measurement I want. I'm just going to use A. I could have used B1 also. So I'm going to use sine A over little a equals sine C1 over little c1. So sine A is going to be 61.4. Little a is going to be equal to 35.5. Sine C1 is going to be 42.8. And then little c1, I don't know what that is. So cross multiply, you get C1 sine of 61.4 is equal to 35.5 sine of 42.8. So I'm going to divide by the sine of 61.4. Okay, so C1 is going to be approximately equal to 35.5 sine of 42.8 divided by sine of 61.4. Okay, and what I'm going to get is about 27.5. Okay, so this guy is going to be 27.5 centimeters. Okay, so now I have the first triangle. So this is the whole measurements of the first triangle. Now we got to do the second triangle. Okay, so for this one, C2 is going to be relatively easy to find. We're going to take 180 minus the sum of the measurements, which is going to be 61.4 and 104.2. So 61.4 and 104.2. So 180 minus 61.4 plus 104.2. That's going to give me 14.4 degrees. So really small angle. Now let's figure out C2. So we can use the same thing. Sine A over little a equals sine C2 over little c2. So this is just going to give me sine of A, which is going to be equal to sine of 61.4. Oops. Divided by 35.5 is equal to sine C2, which in this case is going to be 14.4 degrees, divided by little c2. So I'm going to have C2 sine of 61.4 is equal to 35.5 sine of 14.4. So I'm going to divide by the 61.4. So I'm going to get C2 is approximately equal to 35.5 sine of 14.4 divided by sine of 61.4. Okay, and that gives me about 10.1. Okay, so this next one is 10.1. Whew, that was a lot. So yeah, so the second triangle, notice that you do have to do a little bit more work. So it's way more work than the other ones.